Hey, y'all, what's up? So I'm here to review Smackdown. Sorry, it's been a couple weeks. I've been sick. My son was sick earlier this week. Today he has a migraine, so I have to check on him and changing weather and spring break and all of that. So, um, we'll say overall is average Smackdown. In my opinion, Smackdown has been better than Raw in the past year I've been watching. I've literally been watching it a year, I think. Um, the storylines are better because it has more storylines with most of the men. Like, even if you don't deal with the bloodline, you know what I'm saying? You deal with Imperium, you deal with Sheamus and McIntyre. You have um, Ricochet and Braun. Excuse me. Braun Strowman, you have the Brawling Brutes, you have the Viking Raiders, and then you have Karrion Kross, who was kind of like Brock Lesnar, that picks on whoever returns or is new. So it's like a lot. And the women's one, the only one that's keeping like the women's division alive, to me, honestly, the entire time has been Ronda or Liv. Because even when Liv collided with Ronda, it was a thing. Like even when Charlotte was the women's champion, that was born. Um, so and then like for Raw, if it doesn't involve Seth, which for me he's like the main men event thing, and it doesn't involve the women because the women had a pretty good situation, especially whoever Bianca or Becky were against or Damage Control, then it might have been Judgment Day. But like everyone else's, but then the Judgment Day is and then some of the matches even with Seth can be but it was the women carrying Raw. Anyways, I digress. Um, how did we start off? Because I can't remember. We started off, I think, with Ricochet and Braun versus the Viking Raiders. Pretty good match, pretty solid match. Honestly, I haven't gotten tired of that yet. Because, like when it was like Damage Control and Becky, Damage Control and Bianca, it was New Day and Usos. Now it's like, excuse me. Now it's the Bloodline, KO and Sammy and Riddle, which Riddle added some spice to it, but that story's getting old too. Um, so I don't mind. I'm not. To me, Braun and Ricochet remind me of Liv and um, Raquel in a sense that Raquel and Braun, who are dating, from what I've read, are powerhouses. And then with Liv and Ricochet, you have the aerial moves. You have more versatile wrestlers. Liv's also a wild card. Like I love her, but you have more good, and he has to have a lot of upper body strength to have Ricochet on his shoulder stand, and Ricochet has to have a lot of trust. That's why I was like, this he used to be in cheer or dance or just flip, because that's crazy. Like I don't care if that's my job. To me, and I have slight trust issues. I'm not standing on nobody's shoulder. Like I'm not doing that fall back and I'm gonna catch you thing. I'm not doing that because I don't trust nobody. No, nope. Now I'll do it for you. I'll catch you, but I don't trust nobody to catch me. And yeah. Anyways, so that they won, and I said in my tweets, follow me. I am just BBE. I wanted to see them to face KO and Sammy or the Usos or whoever. But I got a feeling it's still gonna be KO and Sammy for the titles, or the Street Profits, or Alpha Academy, like one of those three, to face to to face the tag team champions for the title. Switch it up a little bit. I also wanted to. Okay, so after that, it was there only 4 matches today? missing a match. Then it was, but it was only 2 hours. So that, okay. So then it was Liv and Raquel versus Chelsea and Sonya. And I will say, Chelsea's and Liv's gear is cute. Okay. I like how they're coordinated with Sonya and Raquel. Um, I love the wild card of her. She's like, Raquel's like, save that for the ring. And I was like, that's her personality, not in character. Because, like I said, I just finished watching Total Divas last week, and I saw the last season and she was on it, and I was like, oh, so she act like this for real. Like, so, yeah. So I love it. I love her. And I was surprised. Oh, that wasn't the first match. So I'm missing the match. I'm going out of order like I always do. Sorry, my brain is trying to. I've been up real early. So anyway, I'm talking about it because I'm on it. But that was a good match. It was good for the ref to call everything out. Towards the end, when Liv poured the water on Chelsea, I'd have did the same thing. Cause you're not about to sit here and pour one on me. I can't do the same for you. Okay. And then Wade was upset because he said the women cheated. But the ref didn't catch that. Whatever, they're still champs. I said this prior to plenty of times, and I will say this again. I look at Rhea, Chelsea, Bianca, Becky, Asuka as top tier for the women. Oh, Natty, Ronda, top tier for the women. Now, I would say who's straddling the fence, who could go in between top tier and mid card, would probably be Liv. But she's a champion right now. So I would say I've been saying to push like Michin, Mia Yim, Shotzi, Zelina, Raquel. Is that all? Have I said Bliss? I haven't said Bliss. Mia, Michin, Raquel. Oh, Bailey's top card too. Sorry, I'm trying to think. So I was like, what? I think I have all of them, and so I think I said Sonya as well. But I pushed them up, so I'm excited to see the Zelina versus Rhea at Backlash. That's why I'm excited to see that, and I'm excited to see Raquel as tag team, and she actually has a partner to help her because Aaliyah or whatever that girl name was reminded me of when Naomi and Arian was. Well, her name wasn't Arian. That's her real name. Her fake name was what? Carmen. Yeah. With Funkadactyls and Trinity was doing all the work. That's what I feel like with Raquel and Aaliyah. So I haven't seen her since in like 8 months. Not honestly, not worried about it. The only reason why I thought about her is because last week my son and I, after Smackdown went off, we played 2K, WWE 2K23, and her name showed up in the roster. And I was like, where's she been? But if I wouldn't have saw that, I wouldn't have thought about it. Out of sight, out of mind. Okay? So the thing started off with Damian and Finn versus Santos and Ray. I feel like the time is coming soon where Ray's going to retire since he's already inducted. I'm not sure if any other wrestler or superstar has continued to work as a WWE inductee after they're inducted. Like, continue. Like, okay, let me make it make sense. Like, when the Bella Twins announced their retirement the first time, they got inducted, right? Just like Trish and Lita, they left, they got inducted. They, as a Hall of Famer, they didn't, but they came back. They weren't like working on SmackDown, maybe doing the weekend house shows, then working on Raw. Like they retired. Then like if WWE asked them to do appearances or or maybe ask them if they want to be part of the storyline. Then they would decide if they wanted to come back. But they weren't like already on the paid thing and all of that. That's what I mean. I think Ray is like one of the first people to do it. I could be wrong. Like I said, I haven't watched WWE. I've been watching a year, but I haven't watched fully and engaged fully in years. Like the last time I watched it for a couple months was 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And I think I cut it on because it was like I wanted to see who was around and all of that. But so I yeah. So Santos looks really good. I love that French braid and his gear and stuff that look really good. Damien looked really good with the hair back and I don't know who lines his beard up. Looks really good. Finn, I'm just cautious about the 14 staples. So I'm like, okay, does he get, because staples don't dissolve, only stitches do, right? So they take out the staples, they put the stitches in, like, is your head closing or is it still closed? And if it's not, that's a risk in itself. Like the doctors give you a clear, you know what I'm saying? But you want to, they probably like, you can, but you got to be cautious. So, and I know like when you wrestle with other people, they're aware of what's going on with you more than likely because you talk in the back room and you know before everything happens and before the cameras are, but sometimes stuff can get carried away or accident can happen. That was my only concern. Like, I think like that as a person that works and stuff like that has a son that, because I'm business oriented minded, like I work in HR. So my mind would be like, okay, we're going to do this, but you got to sign something. Like, don't come over here and I told you to watch, stuff, accidents. Not like that, but also like accidents just to let you be aware, be careful. But accident could happen. And your head could like let them know. Okay? Because I'm like, how long does he have to be? And I know WrestleMania was 3 weeks ago. But let me tell you, I got stitches and staples when I had my son at a C-section. I was on 8 weeks. I technically not supposed to go out and stuff for 8 weeks. You get that. Because the area is sensitive, it's still open, it still needs to heal. The little nerves is what, like the big nerves heal like that. It's the little ones. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, it's only been 3 weeks. He probably got a good 3 to 5 more weeks left. Okay. Also, that was a good match. A very good opening to a start. I don't know where Rhea and Dominic were. They was in the back chilling. They was at home. But I thought in my mind that they were going to come out. But then when they didn't come out, I was like, and my son was like, and I always get their first 3 seconds of their song mixed in with Damage Control because I hear that, and I was thinking, Damage Control, I don't know why. And then my son was like, why is it dark? All the way dark when they come out. And then the words at the bottom, the display of their words seemed different today. Maybe that's a production thing, or maybe I'm bugging. But because we've been to, like I've said, we've been to Smackdown in DC, where I'm from originally, and the DC area, and then we've been to Charlotte Raw, which is 2.5 hours away from where we live at, and we've seen the Judgment Day, I think both times. And then normally when they come out, it's dark for like a half second, and then their wings come out, the wings show in the back. It's not dark like the whole time, and then when he kicks his feet down, Damian Priest, the wings pop open, and then it smokes stuff. Like, I feel like, yeah, it's either production thing or maybe I'm just bugging. Tired. Excuse me, sorry. I'm sleepy. I'm gonna go upstairs to finish watching How I Met Your Father after this. And I have to watch Family Karma. I have to watch Housewives of Jersey. And I have to watch Cosmic Girls Trip. I've already watched Potomac. I feel like I'm missing shows. I watched Abbott Elementary already. Call Me Cat's not coming back on. Yeah, so those are all the shows I'm watching right now currently. And I don't watch them. I don't sit down in front of the TV every day and watch them like that. I pick one day and sit and watch hours of TV. The rest of the days I'm doing other stuff. Anyways, so yeah, so that was a good entertaining way to open it up. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that Judgment Day still won. But then, based off the article I read, I'm not surprised that Judgment Day won. Because they were talking about how when Ray fought Solo, you could hear Solo in the mic telling him thank you for like putting him over. So I'm like, Solo might be doing that for Judgment Day because that's why I say is he gonna retire soon. Because it's just like him losing. If he would have lost the WrestleMania, I would be like, okay, for sure, he's retiring. You put your son over, you know what I'm saying? It can keep his tough guy exterior. It can keep his storyline going if need be or whatever. So, and it's kind of weird seeing Damian Priest wrestle, I think, for me, because most of the time when I see the Judgment Day wrestling, it's either Finn or Rhea. It's Dom sometimes, and he's tag team with one of them, but he used to run and hide, and then like Damian was there as their enforcer, but it was like he wasn't really wrestling like that. I think he wrestled 3 or 4 matches on live TV that I can remember. It might have been more than that. Not interfering, not be on the sidelines interfering, or come out and mess up the match. I'm talking about like actual physical matches. Okay, so I talked about Judgment Day versus LWO. Tag team titles. Ricochet and Braun in the regular. Okay. Gunther versus Woods for the IC title. I'm a little disappointed. And that might be because I'm in my feelings. I'm a fan of Woods. Like how people say he's a friend in my head. He reminds me of like one of my cousins. Like my cousins are gamers like he is. Like all of them. We're nerdy in my family. Like 3 categories in my family are musicians, nerds, athletes. So everyone in our family is 2 out of 3. You got some that's 3 out of 3. You know what I'm saying? So I would say growing up I was 3 out of 3. Now more so 2 out of 3 because I'm not really an athlete anymore. But my entire family games. When I tell you my entire family games, like I had 2 cousins who are older than me because I'm the oldest granddaughter from my papa. My second cousins and all of my cousins, first cousins are girls except for my brother and my cousin Dimitri on my mom's side. And my brother is 6 years younger than me, and my cousin is 5 years younger than me. So everyone about my age that was like 4 or 5 years older than me, besides my cousin Keisha, were boys. So I grew up around boys. My cousin is the reason why I like Duke basketball. And for a minute he got me like in the Trailblazers. He's the one got me into basketball. They got me into gaming. My cousin stayed uptown in DC in the 80s. It was bad. Going into the 90s, the crack era, whatever. So my aunt was very much, you can't go to the park without this. We couldn't go to the ice cream truck, whatever part of, you couldn't go without an adult because they were selling stuff on the ice cream truck. And my aunt had them have games. They had Sega and all that. They played NBA Jam, my cousin Corey and them. But my other cousins, who stayed in Maryland, they worked at Toys R Us. All of them, all 4 of them. My 2 girl cousins, my 2 boy cousins, but they had the basement. My aunt gave them the basement. And when I tell you they had bought with they check every game system, they had Atari, They had Nintendo, because I would play the Duck Hunt game. They had Super Nintendo, which would play the Donkey Kong game and Mario World. That's when I really got into it. And then they had Sega Genesis, um, GameCube, all that. And before gaming for a career was a thing, that's what my one cousin wanted to do. Now he's in IT, but still. But like that's why I was like, Woods reminds me of a family member. That's probably why I'm in my feelings, and because my son and I watch Up Up Down Down. But I feel like he should have won, and only because um he I don't think has had a major title match outside of tag team, and the other two from New Day have been, and I understand that Kofi's been there longer, but still, you know what I'm saying? Also, I feel like, I don't know if they're having Gunther keep it because of they have a storyline for him coming up, but low key in my brain, because I'm a fan of Sheamus, whether he's a heel or a face, I don't know why, but I like him. I think he should have lost to Sheamus before Sheamus got married and had the accident by the Usos. I think he should have lost then, because Sheamus had him, and I'm still in my feelings about that. Okay, that's why when he brought up the thing with DC, he was like, "What are you doing? It's nothing personal." And he said, "You done had your title match," and I put it because I posted on Instagram. I was like, he was robbed of it for real. I want him to be dethroned so bad, and I thought Woods was gonna do it. But you know what? The reason why I feel like Woods ain't do it because Woods ain't have his hair out. And laugh at me if you want to. When I tell you he wins his matches, he has the ponytail. And when the ponytail hair come out of the ponytail and it's just out, I was like, that's when he be in beast mode. He winning. He had the cornrows. Your hair can't be out in cornrows. Like, when he came to I was like, why they do that? But okay. And then after that, okay, so and I said all the people, right? All the matches. That was the most lackluster one though, honestly. Honestly, out of all of that. And it's not because Woods is not entertaining. Um, I feel like the matchup might have been Gunther is technical fighter, I would say. Very old school. Um, and he's very short on words. So I feel like the entertainment part of it he lacks in, but the wrestling part of it he is well knowledgeable in. And I think that's why it was lackluster. Not because they didn't do a good job. It's because you have basically feel like an introvert with the maybe ambivert. I don't know if Woods is a introvert, extrovert, or ambivert, but it doesn't work. And you could tell he's an introvert based off of his performance, because you could tell the introverts based off their performance, like Brock. Brock and Gunther will come and do their performance, do what they got to do, shut it down, won't say nothing else. They only focus on the match. They don't care how the crowd reacts. And they go back to wherever their hotel room, back to the back, whatever. People that are, I feel like, ambiverts or extroverts will focus on the match, but also listen to how the crowd is reacting, and change up moves or do certain things based on the crowd. And I feel like that's the difference. Okay. So I also so then the promo with Jimmy and Jay. Okay. And I say this all the time because I love teeth. And my sister thought I was crazy because we be talking about like what attracts you to a person. I'm like, you could be cute, but if you open your mouth and it's junk mouth or whatever, I can't get with it. And I love people with good teeth. Like, it could be male or female. Good teeth and high cheekbones get me every time, okay? So like Trinity has good teeth. Like, very nice smile. Okay, her husband as well. Very nice smile. Like, I love their teeth and their smiles. Like, oh my God. Like, it's bad, y'all. It's bad. And I didn't think I was, and I thought I was the only female that thought that. And then when like my friend posts stuff on Instagram and the women that respond, and most of the responses were your mouth and your teeth, I said, okay, I'm not the only one. Okay. I'm not the only one. Cause I be daggone if my teeth look good and then yours, and I'm dating you and yours is, and then if we get intimate, you are not kissing me or doing nothing with me with your mouth looking like that. Anyway. Okay, so outside of that, yeah, so he was sitting there talking and I was like, why does he sound like Riddle? I was laughing at that part, but I was also laughing like he sound like somebody else. And I was tweeting and I was like, why he sound like Ed from Good Burger? Like he could be right next to Ed, be Ed cousin on Good Burger too, and ask could he take some my order. Oh, speaking of acting, I was like, Damien with that laugh. He needs to speak to his agent about being somebody's voiceover actor for a horror film or a cartoon or a movie or a soundtrack, something. Because that laugh needs to be recorded. He needs to get paid for it. Okay? Um, but their promo was hilarious, and Solo still has the best song entrance in the game right now. Still the best. Still the best. It's that bass line with whoever's voice is rapping on there, but still the best in the business. Um, I'm elated. I was elated that he was main eventing. I was kind of shocked too, to be honest with you, because honestly, I thought it would be Woods and Gunther. But excuse me, for him to do that in less than a year with that, excuse me, that is something major. And I saw tweets from people like, y'all see how they put him over in less than a year. It's going to be a situation where he's going to challenge either Gunther for the title or Roman for one of the titles. I believe that. I believe that. I would say theory. Um, I don't know if I don't know. The bloodline could probably be on Raw. They got red and black. Raw's red. They probably could be. Um, it'll give more spice to it on the draft. Maybe he could do the U.S. title championship, but I don't know. He would be the one that I would think of to shut down Gunther, though. And then people were saying Jay was the one that challenged or almost won the title for Roman. He should be the one to knock him down. I could see that too. I could see him or him saying something to Solo getting tired, and Samoa spiking Roman. Because he looked like he wanted to do it when Cody held him back. He held him back from Cody. Okay. But excuse me, y'all. They're having a good cookout outside, and it was 89 degrees. I ain't mad at it either because it's gonna rain all day tomorrow. If y'all can hear it. But yeah. So overall, like I said, I think it was great. I'm pretty sure that the people in Ohio were entertained. My son wants to go to a show in Fayetteville, which is 45 minutes, an hour away. Greensboro, which is an hour, 15 minutes away. Fairfax, which is outside. I'm from Fairfax County, which is Northern Virginia. Like 10 minutes from DC. So he wants to go there. I got family there, but I don't even think he'll be here. What is that, May? I think it's May. July is Greensboro. He will be in Nashville with his dad. And then Fayetteville, I think, is May. So, yeah, I don't know. I would love to, honestly, if I made 6-7 figures, our vacations would be go to a random city when they have a Smackdown and buy him tickets. Do it like once a year. But because his birthday was on Friday, and it was when they were in Ianville, Indiana. I think was the 24th of February, and I was going to, but between the flight, the hotel, and the tickets, it was too much money. So that's why we opted for DC the next weekend, because I was like, I could go stay at my cousin's house. The drive up there is 4 hours. It's one tank of gas. It's not even a full tank of gas. It's like 3/4 tanks of my gas. I buy the tickets, chill out afterwards, which what we did. We came back the next day. I took our cousin, which is my cousin's son. So I bought 3 tickets. We sat in section 100, row like E. We were right there in the middle. We're on TV. And I spent the weekend with family. The next day, he was so into it. They was watching old um, wrestling stuff, and we just chilled. Like I could do that when it's somewhere like the DMV. If it's somewhere like Atlanta, I have family there. If it's somewhere like Philly, which we're trying to go to WrestleMania for. New York, um, Raleigh, Charlotte, Greensboro, Fayetteville, in North Carolina. Um, Depending on where at in South Carolina, I got family there. Tampa, Orlando, because my mom is in between both. My brother-in-law is in Orlando. So, like, I can do those cities without spending money. Like, major money. Because, black families, people of color, we go stay at someone's house. Not unless we doing something that we don't want people to know about, maybe. Or if we want to be respectful and we're going to come in late. Like, if I had to go up there and go to my grandma's house, because I know the show wasn't ending till I wasn't going to get home till 11, either I would have to use my grandma's code to get in because she has security, or I would have to stay somewhere else because I know she locks the screen door after 9 o'clock. That's just my grandma. So, and yeah, my family's old school too, so I couldn't bring no mans up there because I'm not married anymore. Not married, so not with a missionary, not in a missionary's house, okay? Um, but anyways, thank you for listening to my wrestling and rants. I am going to go to bed because I am tired. I think this is my longest one I've done so far. It's 10:31, and I want to try to finish watching How I Met Your Father, but I'll probably be asleep. Okay, so yeah, hopefully I'll make one Monday if I'm up. If I'm up now, that Raw be killing me after 11, and I can only imagine being a wrestler because, like, after SmackDown, two matches before SmackDown, 7 what was it 7 between 7:40 7:45 they had 2 matches. Then after SmackDown goes off, they have 2 matches from they have 2 dark matches after that. So, excuse me. The TV went off at 10. They had 2 people fighting at 10:45. So until 10:45, and that was when the last one ended. So we left after that and get home till like 11:30 after we got all of the traffic and it was raining. So I could just imagine the wrestlers who have gathered their stuff up, change their clothes. They probably see the people by the cars, wave, hi, sign autographs, take pictures, and then drive to the next destination. Get there at 3 a.m. So they could sleep in till like 11 or 12, get dressed, go to the place, or they could sleep for like maybe 6 hours instead of 8 hours. Wake up, work out, go to the place. Like, it's a lot. That's a lot on your body and your mental state. It's more so your mental state because your body, if you're used to a routine, it'll do it automatically. And you won't be up. You'll be up, but you won't be up. Because I do that every morning to get my son ready for school. Like, I move so fast and I move automatic that sometimes I forget that I pack him certain stuff. Like, I'll be like, I gotta pack a snack. And I'm exhausted. And I go look in his book bag, and I already put his snacks and his stuff in his book bag. And I was like, thinking, when did I do that? Like, I literally on autopilot, okay? So I can just imagine. And I know what it's like working late and driving to places. I worked in the food industry, and I used to not get off till 2:45, 3:45, and then get home. And then get there, what I would work from 5 p.m. to 3 a.m., which would really be 3:45. Go home. Luckily, my house was around the corner. Try to see my boo before I pass out. My feet are exhausted. My feet are in excruciating pain. Okay, this is when I was a manager at Taco Bell, and then get up at 10 to work a 10 to 8, and then have the next day off. Maybe the next day have to probably come back 10 to 8, or the next day, since I got off at 8, they'll have me work. This is before breakfast started, so I'm telling my age. So it was open at 10. Oh, if it opened at 10, we had to be there 8 to food prep, or work like 8, then work 8 to 4, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then work again, like closing or 10 to 8, and then have the next day off. Like, that's a lot. So I know what it's like. And you don't really have a set schedule to, like, enjoy stuff. So you have all this money sitting, which is good. But I'm like, you have to be with someone that has a strong mental state, that is secure and strong in who they are, and have a life outside of you and your relationship. If you have someone that's with you and they don't understand your goals and your dreams and stuff like that, first of all, that's not the person for you. Even if you explain it to them, they don't understand it. Even if they say they ride with you and your dream changes and they have a issue with that, you might want to rethink that, okay? But they don't have the strong mental state. They don't have a life outside of you. Like, their whole life is their kids and you. That might not work. Because honestly, if you work in like food industry, in the service industry, they have crazy hours. You work in the entertainment industry, wrestling, musician. And my ex was a musician, but that's not why we broke up. But my ex was a musician, so he had crazy hours too. So my time, half the time spending time with him, was going to his shows. And then I staying in the house the next day all day and hanging out. But I'm saying this to say, I don't know who this is for. It might not be for you, and you might have to reevaluate your life, because you shouldn't have to hold back what you want to do and what you love to do because it makes them feel some type of way. Also, if someone puts you and their kids before themselves, which is cool, you know what I'm saying? But for me, what I was taught was, you put God first, or whatever you believe in first. Then you put you and your significant other second. So you're part of that number two. So if you're not good, you're not going to be good to no one else. You can't be trying to fill other people up and you're empty. So you have to be fulfilled. Just because you're in a relationship or something new doesn't mean you give up who you are, who your personality is. Because once you become okay, my life is all about him, her, or whoever, and then my kids, you lose yourself. And the person that they fell in love with and the person you used to be is gone. It's a whole nother person they're looking at. Even though you look the same on the outside, you're not the same person here or here. I've been there, trust me. And it's hard, especially when you have a newborn or you're somewhere new, because you're infatuated and you want to spend a lot of time with them. But you also got to remember to check in with yourself and stuff. Yeah. So, like I said, it's cool to be all in your children's life, involved and stuff like that, but don't make it all about them, because once they get old enough and get out on their own and stuff, become more independent, you'll be looking at your significant other like, who the hell are you? Why are you here? Like, I don't remember when we had a date, a real conversation, when we hung out together, we spent quality time together. And it ain't necessarily got to be, oh, we got to go out all the time and have money. It could be, oh, well, we watch this Netflix show together and that's what we watch. Quality time, stay in the bed, hang out, watch comedies, like anything. And you don't want to become consumed into somebody else's life. That's all it is. And then your life passes you by. You wake up, look up, and you're like, how the hell did I get here? Don't ever do that. And for women, it's easier to do because we're caregivers by nature. So, and then we blame our husbands or our boyfriends because we're lost in it, and we resent them. But men are natural providers, so if anything, they feel like they show love, even if they're not around. It's because, oh, he'll thank me later. He won't have, my son or daughter won't have to work again, even though their child might just want their quality time. Like, that's how they think. You might not be able to change that, but just make sure that you are you. While your significant other is gone, if they're in entertainment or the food industry, make sure that you have your life. Like, where they're gone, you have your girlfriends, you have maybe a part-time job. If they don't want you to work full-time or you don't want to work full-time, you have your hobbies, you have your life. You spend time with your kids when you can. When they come home, y'all can spend time as a family. They can spend time with your kids. But you did all you did you. That's it. Sorry. That was an 8-minute rant, but I'm sorry. Talk to you later. Bye.